Hey, it's the Fort Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
And I don't have my script because we're driving.
Welcome to our podcast where we talk about relationships, pickup, game, and sex. I think I missed one. So today we're doing a story time. We got a great question in the DMs, and it just bodes. It just asks us. It's a common question.
It's a common problem or a common concern, hurdle.
Yeah.
Explosive situation.
Yes.
It can be the whole gamut depending on, where everything lands.
It completely can ruin a relationship.
Sure.
And it's completely avoidable for a lot of reasons.
And it's probably ruined a lot of relationships.
Yeah, for sure. So the question is, I'm just going to kind of summarize. This guy has been banging a girl for about 3 months and now is actually kind of starting to date her. And I guess once he started getting a little bit more serious about her, he or she brought up a body count question, a cock count question. And so they were talking about their numbers. And she said that her number was 7 and that included 2 different threesomes. One that was her and her boyfriend and another girl. One that was her and 2 apparently strangers on vacation at a resort because she was blackout drunk, quote unquote. And we find that this is a pretty common thing that girls will say when they are trying to cover their tracks about something that they regret sexually is, oh, I was just so drunk, I was just... Or
they reveal it and they get a bad reaction.
Yeah.
They go with the, I was blackout drunk. Whether it was true or not. Yeah, exactly. It's,
We know alcohol is sex fuel, so, but, she says she didn't even remember the instance. Yeah. That really doesn't have much to do with it. But anyway, he's essentially saying, this conversation really bothered me. We ended up in an argument about it. I told her she was irresponsible, that her friends were irresponsible, that, and that what's to stop this from ever happening again. I can't trust you not to drink. I can't trust you not to do this again. And so he's essentially saying, what's the best way to go about either having the conversation about how bad this has bothered him, or just essentially backing out of the relationship and ending it with this girl. So we thought that this was a really good topic of conversation.
And you're talking at like 3 or 4 months in.
Yeah.
And this comes up. And first off, Bunny and I say, don't ask.
Yeah.
Don't tell. There are people and men that have been in long-term relationships that if they knew the truth, it would disturb them. They would have never stuck with the girl. They would have it would have just messed with their head so bad. And so honesty for women is not always the best policy, just like this girl kind of fucked this up.
Yeah.
By revealing these 2 threesomes. 7 is a low number, and that's irrelevant because, like Bunny says, anything more than 0 is too high for most guys.
Yeah, it's going to bother him no matter what. It messes with
their head, yeah. So, one, don't ask, don't tell. Especially with, if you're looking at your boyfriend-girlfriend type dynamics. It's completely different if you're fuck buddies and just hanging out.
You're just shooting the shit.
And that's complete. There's no emotional, relationship.
That's
there.
An important point,
But I would say that this thing's pretty much ruined.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just the way it is. Something happens, and Bunny said this, and this I agree with her on this. For a lot of guys, one thing will completely fuck up a relationship with a girl.
Yeah.
It could be like...
It just turns her off.
Turns them off. Yeah, whatever it is. Whatever she's done something in the past. It could be even like her getting blackout drunk in front of him.
Yeah.
But usually it's something sexual, intersexual history that she reveals.
Or disrespect. If she just like went off one day and...
Oh, yeah.
And totally like... It was
Snaps
like...
at him.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, that's that's not who I thought you were at all.
No.
There's a lot of that.
But generally, something will come up that she'll reveal, or, she accidentally, it falls out of her mouth, or she tells them to kind of relieve her own guilt.
Yeah.
And kind of wanting to foist it upon him, and he's like, done.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want that.
Yeah, and so I would say that this thing is toast.
Yeah.
And you just start backing out. Because, it's in his head. He's going to run the scenarios in his head. And this is like super common.
Yeah, it is.
And having distance and time, I know, and this is what I try to convey to it, in the end, it really doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
But it matters to him, and it's getting in the way of him being happy, and it's in the way of his relationship. Therefore, it has to be addressed, and it's usually better just to replace the girl than try to fix the situation.
Well, and everything's relative. As if you're younger, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your young 30s, you're looking for something more serious, you're looking for a wife, you're kind of on the hunt, then that number seems higher than it does if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s even.
And you got to remember, like in your 20s and 30s, a lot of the jealousy is really strong because of certainty of paternity.
Yeah.
Guys, and it's very much hardwired, knowing exactly who the father of the children is.
Yeah.
And then, and we've noticed this, and it may just be a casual observation, mid-40s, older, all that kind of starts going away.
Yeah.
Maybe it's maybe because you're just like worn out, or, exposed to enough over time, you realize most histories don't matter. But the certainty of paternity doesn't play into your life as much. But when you're younger, that's probably why that jealousy reaction is so strong.
Oh, yeah.
Is finding girls that are like dependable, trustworthy, so you know that you're the father of the kids.
Yeah.
As opposed to, and this is probably hardwired deep and has been part of us for a long time.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. But the bottom line, and I do think there's a time and a place where if you're going to have the talk, it may be applicable if, like, you've been dating a year or so or more, but like a while. And then you notice that she tells a lot of stories about different parties or wild things that she's done. And you kind of start checking the numbers off in your head going, my goodness, honey. And then I could see there being a place where you kind of go, God, how many cocks have you ridden?
And like I tried to convey to Bunny was, that's very much an anomaly, because you can be around a girl for literally years, decades, and she'll never mention another man in your presence. They're hardwired. They know, certain girls know not to mention, not even her own father will be mentioned.
Yeah.
Girls just know because they've seen a bad reaction, or their mother taught them, or somehow along the line they learned the golden rule to never mention men around men. Yeah,
we know not to do that.
No.
But that is a sign that not only you might want to pose the question, but you also might be looking at somebody with a little bit more damage than you thought, because if she doesn't know better than to pop off these stories and brag like she's some dude at a frat party, then that might be a real red flag warning sign for you going, yeah, you might want to back out of this a little bit.
And just know, wherever you're at in your relationship, and you probably won't remember, but it's very common. If you're going to go into the what's your number conversation, know that you're walking into something that's probably has the possibility 50-50 of shutting your relationship down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a big risk.
It is a big risk.
You got to ask yourself, would it matter in 10 years?
Is it worth it?
Exactly.
Are you happy otherwise, or are you looking for a way out?
Yeah.
If you're looking for a way out, you go on and dig. Just like the old saying, you don't want to dig if you're not going to like, going through somebody's phone, you're definitely going to find something you don't like. Going through somebody's accounts, you're definitely going to find something. It's just the more you dig, the more likely you are to find something that you don't like. And it's hard to forget stuff once you've seen it. So We just recommend not asking.
And that's why we kind of do story time, because they're common questions, but there's really no definitive answer. We try to give you the ability to weigh the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
And just know what can be fatal to your relationships, with these girls. And then you have to assume whatever risk you walk into.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the real deal.
So, I hope this helps. We hope this helps. If you like this, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and
Comment.
check. I said comment.
Okay.
Yeah, we want you to. We love your comments, and we dig through and find a lot of great questions there too. So please just continue to comment below. Also, check out all of our links below, because we like you to also dig into the books that we have available and our newsletters and just more of our podcasts. So we appreciate you listening, and we want you to win. Bye!